Hey, okay. Video that maybe everybody wants, but nobody wants to ask for. Um, Bach versus Yamaha. What do I play? Why do I play it? Um, which one's better for you? We're gonna cover all of that stuff. Okay, so we're gonna dive right in here. Um, I have with me my Bach and my Yamaha. Um, this is a Bach 229-25H. It's from the corporation era, so it's like in the 70s at some point. I don't really know. It's 115,000, give or take. It's a corporation bell. I don't know what that means. It seems like it might be a little late for that. Maybe it's an aftermarket bell. I'm not sure. It's actually in pretty good shape. And I had the lead pipe changed. It is still a 25 like a Bach 25H. I just had the pipe changed because I thought the other one was uh, either had some red rot or maybe the receiver was shot or something. And I just happen to have this pipe laying around. So it is a off the shelf 229 25H, you know, from 1975 or whatever. Okay, this one is a Yamaha New York YM bell. So like the 239 style bell or whatever that means. I don't really think that's true. I've had 239s. This does not feel like a 239. I don't know what it is. It doesn't really matter. It plays great. Um, okay, so this instrument, this 229 25H, great, great trumpet. If you're starting on trumpet, on C trumpet, go for it. Get the 229 25H. That's my attitude. It's not that big. It's actually a really moderate size. A lot of people get it bumped out even more. So don't be shy about the size. It's like it plays like a trumpet. It doesn't. It's not more or less in tune than like the A pipe. It's all about how you play it. It's actually more in tune than the A pipe, in my opinion. A pipe is a great pipe. It's just a little for me. It's a little too constrictive, and that drives my pitch a little higher because I tend to overblow it. So if you can do the other thing and like play sort of more efficiently, then maybe you can make the A pipe work or one of the other pipes. But for me, the H pipe is really the only thing Bach makes that I love. I have a Bach B flat trumpet. I don't love it. Sorry, Bach. It it just kind of is pretty mediocre. It's an artisan, which you could like argue is a mediocre, release, but honestly, it's fine. I don't really care that much. It plays fine. Like, I actually think the Yamaha B flats are really not a lot better. Um, I think some of the smaller brands actually make better B flats. And on a B flat trumpet, the sound is just not as yeah, it's important, but it's just not. It doesn't have to the how do I put this? The urgency is not there for it to have a specific orchestral sound because we just don't play it that way for the most part. Like if you're a classical trumpet player, you're playing solo repertoire, you can play whatever the like blank you want, right? You can as long as you can play it well, then it doesn't really matter. Um, but in the orchestra, like all we need to be able to do is like the really tricky like the B flat licks. Oh, come on. And then like occasionally like a high C sharp or something, right? Um, we just don't play a lot of B flat, and so it just doesn't matter as much. Um, I also own a Bach piccolo, so I can break that out and show it to you. I actually like that instrument quite a bit. It's in tune, it's responsive, it's a little darker than maybe like a Shilky, so it's a little rounder, but not outside of bounds. And again, like piccolo trumpet, again, I would argue maybe matters a little bit less, like that it has that exact zing. But on C trumpet, we're really, really picky about that. So that's kind of like what I'm going to concentrate on, um, because that's where the debate is, I think, mostly. Um, I love my Bach B flat. People play a Bach B flat, I think, because you have you have a lot of freedom to blow harder, and it won't freak out, right? So like you can play heavier, you can put a lot of energy into the trumpet, and it will move it for you. I don't know, like let's see. How about I haven't played this trumpet in a long time, but I love it. I love the sound. It's such a sweet sound. Um, yeah, it's a really great trumpet. You can't go wrong. Like that's a great trumpet. If you're on a budget, that's the one to get. Or even not a budget, like you can just love that trumpet. The Yamaha, people play Yamaha because it rings automatically. Like you don't have to earn it. You do have to earn it, and you have to sort of, but that's all you have to do. All you have to do is sort of put your mind on that ring and pursue that ring, you know, and it will reward you by just being there. You don't have to like, you won't lose it on some notes for the most part, and it'll just sort of like happily ring, through your day. Like it gets a lot of fire right off the bat that I think the Bach takes definitely more mental energy to get, um, but also I think is maybe physically harder to get to. So the overtones on the Bach tend to skip through that sort of middle upper uh, register. That's really not register, overtones like harmonics that tend to get into the back of the hall really, really easily. Um, it's a little bit easier to hear, I think, on the middle and soft types of things like um, yeah. So if I do that on this trumpet, I haven't practiced this. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, like it did what I kind of expected it to do, which was ring a little more evenly and with a little less manipulation and effort. Um, Downside to the Yamaha, the opposite of the Bach, which is like if you push it, it'll kind of shut down on you. If you try and pour more air into it than it agrees with, it won't do it. I mean, I guess it will. Like there are people who like can get away with that. I'm not one of them. If I go there with the instrument, it'll shut me down. It'll like put a nice little cap on my playing day. So yeah, that's the Bach Yamaha debate. Which one should you get? Um, once upon a time you could go try them. but I think that's harder these days. My suggestion is to learn on the Bach because it's a little bit more accessible. It's a little bit more forgiving, especially at first. And we know we're going to trade it in anyway at some point. So if you want then to go try some Yamahas, that's a good time to do it. Like, you know, you're ready to sort of make that investment and you can go make that investment. So maybe a Bach is a better first C trumpet. It's a, like I said, a little more forgiving. I strongly recommend, you know, the 229-25H. I know there are people out there that like the 239. I've owned one. I actually liked it, but it wasn't right for my trumpeting needs. Like, I really need the ring, and for me, it kind of just shut down that middle upper register even more than the 229. So that's my take on that. Let's see. I'll play all the way through pictures on both trumpets, and you can hear like a very run of the mill excerpt. This is the Yamaha first. Pretty good run. Here's the Bach. So you might have also heard that like there are some notes on the Bach that are definitely a little funkier. Like, I don't know if they're really more out of tune, but they're a little deader. Like the A flat before the high A flat is just, it just like the sound shuts down, especially on this particular horn. I think shuts down a lot, whereas it just doesn't on this horn. Now I do think this horn has a couple of dead spots too, like the opening, like the C sharp, low C sharp. Um, I think it just sort of like kind of becomes duller. Like, I'll show you. So for my taste, it kind of dulls out quite a bit. Whereas if I do that on the Bach, it actually, that was a pretty good run, until the last note. The C sharp jumps right out. Now it has other problems. Like, again, the B is a little funky on this. I think it has more funky notes, which is why I'm playing the Yamaha right now. But yeah, so but those are finite problems. You can solve those if they're just a little bit easier on the Yamaha. Yeah, so that's the short of it. Um, you can make that decision for yourself. I'm just suggesting that like Bach is a great place to start. But if you want to play Yamaha first, go for it. Like, you probably don't even need to try them. They're really good instruments. You can just order, you know, whichever one you want, really. If it's your first one, just, you can roll the dice and you'll get a great trumpet. Um, yeah. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts. Um, I hope that I didn't set this down as like a I'm right, you're wrong kind of debate, or one is better than the other. It's really just about the individual player and what they need. So, what's best for you? I hope you got some sort of answer out of that. And otherwise, I will see you next time.